Hey guys, welcome to another Team FYB deck profile. Today I'll be going over my Elemental Hero Neos deck for July 2023, post Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge. Let's just get right into it. Alright, so here we go. This is the Neos deck profile, updated for Monstrous Revenge. The deck was already okay pre-Monstrous Revenge, but we did get some fancy new support that gives it a huge consistency boost. And honestly, this is just a really fun way of playing heroes in a very different way. You get to use Elemental Hero Neos much more often. There is, of course, the more standard build where you play your Vision heroes, your Destiny heroes, and you can tech in some of the new Neos support from Monstrous Revenge. However, this is just purely a Neos version. We're just playing for the Neos fusions. And yeah, it's just a really nice, fun way, alternate way of playing heroes. So let's just get right into it. We have to play two of the vanillas, of course, two Elemental Hero Neos. You play two because you need a target in your deck for stuff like your Neos Fusion. So having two always available makes it so that it's less awkward to play. Following this, of course, we play two of the Spirit of Neos, cards from Power of the Elements. For those who don't know what this card does, he does search any card that mentions Elemental Hero's name in its card text, so pretty much the entire deck, as well as Polymerization on Special Summon, and as well as he can tag himself out for the vanilla when you need to. He also has his Battle Phase Protection effect. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't, but generally speaking, you're cheating this out with your other cards. Moving on, we're playing Free Crosskeeper, another card from Power of the Elements. This card lets you special summon any hero or Neospatian card from your hand, as well as it gives you a draw 2 and shuffle back 1 when you fusion summon by banishing it from the graveyard. This card's often just a great extender. Draw it with the Spirit of Neos and you basically have full combo. And having that draw 2 on top of the other draw 2 in our deck is just really crazy. It lets us fix a lot of our bricky hands. The deck has so much gas, so just seeing all those combo pieces essentially gets you the win. For the Elemental Heroes, of course, we play one Stratos, one Shadow Mist, one Liquid Soldier, and one Blazeman. It's pretty not standard to see only one Stratos, but in this particular version, he's not that great, and he is just incredibly searchable with all of our other cards. Shadow Mist and Liquid Soldier, obviously, to get our extenders and our plays. And Blazeman is important, as it is very important to see Polymerization. So if you have no other way of seeing Poly, but you have a way to get to one of your Elemental Heroes, you will most likely be searching Blazeman to get you there. You rarely use its second effect, but it is just for Poly. Moving on, of course, if we're playing Neos, we have to play the Neospatians. We decide to play free. We play Grand Mole, Dark Panther, and Aqua Dolphin. Generally speaking, you're not really summoning these two. These are just materials for your fusion summons. You will more often than not be summoning Aqua Dolphin, as your game plan going first is to loop your opponent's hand, get as much information as you can. So Aqua Dolphin is usually getting summoned off of our other cards. So generally speaking, you run free though, so that you have the chance to get the card lock off of Cosmo Neos, which we'll talk about a bit later. To round up the monster lineup, we play the one Dark Iron Dragon. We are playing Armed Neos from the new Monstrous Revenge. We decide to play Dark Armed Dragon because he's just the better Armed Dragon to play. He can at least be summoned much more easier than Armed Dragon level 10. And you do have enough Darks in your deck to actually justify summoning him. Moving on to spells, we play Free Emergency Call and Rhoda. Of course, we want to see our warriors. This essentially just gives us so much consistency. You're usually using E-Call to get E-Heroes, and you can use Rhoda to grab the Crosskeeper. So you'll basically just see your entire combo most of the time. Of course, for consistency, Free Hero Lives, pretty standard. You're usually summoning Stratos or Blazeman off of a Hero Lives, 9 times out of 10. We have Free Engaged Neospace from Pote, for those who don't know what this card does. It lets you send a card from your hand and a card from your deck, as long as one of them is an Elemental Hero and one of them is a Neospatian. And that's for cost. It then summons a level 5 or higher Elemental Hero or Neospatian from your deck, and also adds Poly. This card is just plus. It just gives you so much plus. It's searchable off of the Spirit of Neos. It also summons the Spirit of Neos. This card's crazy. All it does is lock you into fusions for the rest of the turn, which is fine. Whatever. you will mostly be fusion summoning anyway. Next up, of course, free Aeon Shuffle. Since we're running Neospatians, Aeon Shuffle becomes a smaller, slightly better extender, as it lets us get to our pieces, turn any of our elemental heroes into Neospatian pieces, so that we can use them on our opponent's turn. And Aeon Shuffle giving that draw effect if you have the vanilla Neos in your graveyard is just an added bonus as well. Of course, we run free Neos Fusion, our version of branded fusion, I guess. This usually is the extender for the end of the turn, lets us get our last Neospatian in the graveyard, and also for going second, this card being able to summon armed Neos on our so that we can push for big game or a guaranteed win is a added bonus for Neos Fusion. Last but not least, here we do run the instant contacts. Of course, if you have the vanilla Neos, instant contacts just becomes a free instant fusion for any of our good heroes. This can summon Sunrise. This can summon any of the Neos fusions as well with their effects. So this card just becomes really good, and it is again searchable off of the Spirit of Neos. And we do also run Aeon Wave. This is a personal choice of mine. I do like Aeon Wave. Basically, what happens is if you use an elemental hero as a fusion material, it summons a Neospatian from your deck, or an elemental hero Neos. This is just another way of getting that third or second name of Neospatians in rotation, as the game plan is to try and get the materials for Cosmo Neos. So this just helps out. It is searchable off of the Spirit of Neos. It is considered. I can cut this down to 1. But drawing it, hard drawing it and having that Spirit of Neos search for something else does come up very often. To round off the spells, we of course run the 1 Poly, searchable off of Blaze Man and Engage Neospace, and the 1 Miracle Fusion we search off of Sunrise. And last but not least, for the trap card, Favorite Contact, this is the bread and butter of the deck. This is the end board of the deck. Having this ready on your opponent's turn effectively gives you all of the interaction you need. Searchable off of the new support in Monstrous Revenge as well. For the extra deck, we have an interesting lineup. Let's start off with Infernal Rage, the new card from Monstrous Revenge. Being the card that searches the Favorite Contact, it's important to get this guy out. And if he uses a vanilla as material, he can actually tag himself out into any of the other level 7 or lower fusions. Paired with him, of course, we play the OG Wingman. This is just for scenarios where we need to summon the Neos Wingman and we just need the Flame Wingman as the material on the board. So we get to run 2 Flame Wingmans. Next up, of course, for the more standard heroes, we do run the 1 Sunrise, the 1 Absolute Zero, and the 1 Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. Sunrise for the Miracle Fusion, Absolute Zero as just an extension for our board state. Makes it very hard for our opponent to sort of run into us without popping their own board. And Wake Up the Hero for the OTKs if we need them. Next up, for some of our Neos lineup, we do run 2 of the Shining Neos Wingman. If we cannot get the Cosmo Neos lock, this is our game plan, summoning this for multiple pops. It only requires a Neos plus a Wingman, so we'll be using either Infernal Rage or Flame Wingman as the material. And he cannot be destroyed by card effects, and he gains a lot of attack based on monsters in the graveyard. So he's just a very hard card to get rid of, and he's just a great way to extend past for OTKs. A great alternate win condition. Of course, we've been hyping him up the whole time. Cosmo Neos, he is the win con of the deck. So he is Utopic Zexal. When he is summoned, you cannot respond to his effect, and his effect is your opponent cannot activate cards or effects for the rest of the turn. You're summoning this off of the trap, which ignores any of its pre-existing summoning conditions. So you summon this on your opponent's turn during their draw phase, and they are locked out of the game. The added benefit of Favorite Contact is it also protects it from being shuffled into the deck like every other Neos Fusion has. So you just have this 3500 beat stick on once your turn cracks back to you. Hopefully your opponent doesn't have any setup on your own turn, but if they can't play the game and they pass turn to you, you essentially win the game on the spot. For other Neos fusions, we have Armed Neos, new card from Monstrous Revenge. Generally speaking, you're summoning this on turn 2 to try and either kill your opponent If your opponent isn't dead after the Armed Neos swing, however, it will gain its effect when it destroys a monster by battle. It lets you summon an elemental hero from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions during either player's main phase. So during the next main phase, you can tag him out to summon Cosmo Neos and just lock them again, essentially guaranteeing you the win. Armed Neos is just also, he's huge, 3,500. And he does have a pop effect when he is summoned, popping all monsters with a lower level lower than Dark Arm Dragon. So you pretty much catch most boards off guard with the Armed Neos. To round off the Neos cards, the more standard Neoses, we have Dark Neos, Aqua Neos, and Grand Neos. You're usually summoning these off of Neos Fusion or raw contact fusing into them. We run one of each so that we can get the materials in the graveyard off of Neos Fusion. And sometimes we do summon them for some of our boards. Sometimes we summon Dark Neos to get Imperm. Sometimes we have Aqua Neos to loop our opponent. And sometimes we just summon Grand Neos to get rid of a problematic monster. Next up, we have Brave Neos. Comes up sometimes. Never really summon him. He's just big. And he does get some advantage when he destroys things by battle. And we do have the Nebula Neos and the Storm Neos to round off. Nebula Neos is a good alternative card to draw some cards during your opponent's turn and negate a card. And Storm Neos is great for back row decks. However, Storm Neos doesn't come up nearly as often. If you have the money, you can shell out for an Air Neos in this spot. But other than that, though, these cards are sort of just flexible spots if you have no other options remaining in your extra deck. And that was my Neos deck profile for July 2023. I think if you're looking for a very refreshing way to play hero in the new year, especially after all that hype from the recent NAWCQ, then you should give Neos Heroes a try. Experiment with your own builds. I'd highly recommend you try out not only the Neos Hero variant, but also some of the Omni Hero variants, some more traditional Vision Heroes or Destiny Heroes, to really empower that deck to the next level. But I think it's a great rogue tier option for this coming format. You'll catch a lot of your opponents off guard with the turn skip. And Shiny Neos Wingman is an incredible card if you can't get that lock. And who doesn't love playing a little bit of Jade and Yuki GX format? This is Patrick from Team FYB signing off. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe and support us with your comments. And I'll see you in the next video.